Hello everybody and welcome to Dan Tarmas Tech, and I hope you're doing well. And today we're going to be talking AMD from E3. Now it did happen a couple of days ago, but due to work commitments and other things going on, I was unable to release this video, hence why it's 2 days late. But we got to see a 3900X up against Intel's i9-9900K with some snooty comments. We also got a new CPU from AMD, and also we found out about their Navi GPUs. So let's roll that intro and jump straight on into it. So let's talk about Ryzen, and starting off with a snotty comment from Intel first, and it looks like they are starting to worry about AMD's products. The article basically called out AMD to challenge them in the real world of gaming, and that's exactly what AMD did with the 3900X against the 9900K. However, the 3900X does have a slight advantage over the 9900K. It has 4 extra cores and 8 extra threads. However, AMD just did not stop there, and they went on to show what type of streaming capability you get through YouTube, both at 1080p stream, 10,000 kilobytes per second constant bitrate, and at slow quality preset, and you get only 2.1% of the frames successfully shown to viewers on the 9900K, where AMD you get 98.6%. So AMD went ahead and put up this graph as well. An average game performance at 1440p, both the i9-9900K and the Ryzen 9 3900X were both at 90 FPS. But the FPS seen by YouTube viewers at 1080p had the 9900K at 1.6 FPS and the 3900X at 59 FPS. However, I do want to add in here before anybody starts bashing me in the comment section down below for being an AMD fanboy, the 9900K is actually a fully capable processor of streaming and gaming at the same time, and that any company showing off any benchmarks at CES, Computex or E3 should be taken with a pinch of salt, because any company can underpower a CPU to make their product look absolutely amazing against it. So AMD have also confirmed that they're going beyond 12 cores. The Ryzen 9 3950X, it's 16 cores and 32 threads, 3.5 GHz base clock, a boost clock of 4.7 GHz, 72 MB of cache, 105 watt TDP. We're talking Threadripper level of performance for mainstream PCs, and all this for $749 US, and it will be released in September 2019. So AMD also wanted to show how much of a beast this actually is, and went on to do some demos with LN2, and in this video here they actually broke quite a few world records. However, as of today, June the 12th, we got some pretty great results on Geekbench for the Ryzen 9 3950X with a single core score of 5,868 and a multi-core score of a whopping 61,072. So let's compare the 3950X against the 9900K. The 9900K does beat the single core score of the 3950X by 341. However, it does get hammered in the multi-core score by only achieving 33,998. If we compare the 3950X against the Threadripper 2950X, both 16 cores and 32 threads, the 3950X beats the 2950X by 577 in the single core score, and in multi-core score beats it by 4,174. Also, just to add in here that the Ryzen 9 3950X was running at a base clock of 3.29 GHz, with a boost clock of 4.29 GHz, so there's loads more headroom here for the Ryzen 9 3950X to achieve more. So let's move on to Navi, and I want to get the boring stuff and the features out the way first. So yes, it's going to be the RDNA architecture, 7nm process, GDDR6 memory, PCIe 4.0 support, and also the Radeon Media Engine for high decode and encode rates, and also the Radeon Display Engine with DCS for up to 3 times lossless of compression. So then, let's move on to the features, and first up is Fidelity FX. Now this is an open source image toolkit for developers. It implements high extra details into the game to make it look crisper and sharper in areas whilst keeping the frame rates at a high level. They also talked about it in games if it's not yet supported, so you can download it from AMD's Adrenalin software. They also showed a table of how little it affects performance with it on and off. The last feature I also want to talk about before I get onto the GPUs is the Radeon anti-lag. So anti-lag is said to reduce the input lag from the time when you click the button on your mouse, keyboard or controller to the action of movement being shown on the screen. So why is this interesting? Well, normally to cut input lag you have to boost the FPS. With Radeon anti-lag you can keep the frame rate the same but still reduce the input lag. So they pitched the RX 5700 XT against the RTX 2070. With anti-lag disabled, the Nvidia card had a 59 millisecond response time compared to AMD's 55.7 milliseconds. With anti-lag enabled, the response time dropped to 44 milliseconds, which is huge, especially in online gaming. Robert Hallock also said that's a frame to a frame and a half of less lag. And looking at this chart, they claim that a 31% average lower click to response time. However, we're not here to talk about just features, so let's move on to the GPUs. Up first is the RX 5700. It comes with 36 compute units, which is 2304 stream processors, up to 7.95 teraflops, 8GB of GDDR6 memory, a base clock of 1465 MHz, a boost clock of 1725 MHz, and a new clock of 1625 MHz, which is a game clock. Now this is the average that you will see whilst gaming, and it comes in at around a price of $379 and is to compete with the RTX 2060. So if we take a look at this chart of the top 10 games to release this year, the 5700 has 9.5% more performance over the 2060. So roughly for the same price, the 5700 looks like a really good buy, and it does come with 2GB extra VRAM. However, the RTX 2060 does have ray tracing, which is a slight benefit. However, not many games do support ray tracing at this present moment in time. So let's move on to the RX 5700 XT. It has 40 compute units, which is 2560 stream processors, up to 9.75 teraflops, 8GB of GDDR6 memory, a base clock of 1605 MHz and a boost clock of 1905 MHz, and also has a game clock of 1755 MHz. And this all comes in at a price of $449 and is to compete with the RTX 2070. So again, let's look at the top 10 games to release. The 5700 XT is around about 5% faster than the RTX 2070, which is within the margin of error. The XT isn't low enough to make it a good buy. If it was $25 to $50 cheaper, then it would look more appealing, especially as Nvidia are due to drop their prices on their GPUs like they have been discussing. The question is, do you want to buy a GPU with a feature that isn't widely supported, or would you use ray tracing in games for the eye candy at the loss of frames? So there is one more GPU, and that's the RX 5700 XT 50th Anniversary Edition. So this isn't just a signed version, it does have better clocks. With 10.14 teraflops, a base clock of 1680 MHz, a boost clock of 1980 MHz, and a game clock of 1830 MHz for $499, which is the same price as an RTX 2070. So if the XT Anniversary Edition has the 9.5% performance difference over the 2070, like the 5700 had over the 2060, then that would be worthwhile. Especially as we revert back to asking yourself, would you use ray tracing in games? And if the answer is no, then it is worth it. However, you can only buy this card from AMD.com. So the release date of the GPUs will be July the 7th, and that is also when the embargoes are lifted on the reviews. I would suggest waiting for the reviews before pre-ordering the cards to find out if the reviewers get the same results. So that's it all from me. Sorry the video was late, I just had a mega tough time at work and other things going on, but I wanted to keep all my subscribers and future subscribers updated. However, let me know your thoughts on the R9 3950X and Navi GPUs in the comment section below. If you liked the video, then go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated, and do click on that bell icon for more notifications from myself. And like always, I shall see you in the next video.